Hey there, my wedding planning friends, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for clicking on my video. I'm Emily Summer. I'm a wedding planner based in Montana, and I make weekly videos on wedding planning tips and advice. All right, so today we're talking about wedding vendors, and specifically kind of the process of booking your wedding vendors and some red flags to look out for before you're hiring anybody. So once you start diving into the wedding planning process, it's very easy to get caught up in the sense of urgency to book all of your vendors right away. And while you should be making some decisions pretty early on, you want to make sure that you are properly vetting your wedding vendors, that they make sense for you and what you're looking for, and also make sure that you're not missing any signs or red flags before hiring any wedding vendors. So the wedding industry has grown immensely over the last decade or so, and just because somebody is a wedding professional does not make them a good one or one that is right for you and what you're looking for. So make sure that you are looking out for these red flags before signing any contracts or officially booking any wedding vendors. Here are common red flags to look out for. Number one is vague communication. So this could be lack of communication altogether or just an inconsistent communication, or if you're just getting very generic responses or lack of detail in their responses where it doesn't seem like they're really grasping your vision or things that you are reiterating that you want for your wedding. Lack of communication obviously is a huge red flag. If you're having a difficult time getting a hold of a vendor, especially in the very beginning stages, that's likely an indicator of what the communication is going to be like throughout your wedding process. If you're reaching out to a lot of vendors in the middle of wedding season, it's very common to have a little bit of a delay. However, you should not have more than like a 3 business day delay if you're trying to get a hold of a vendor, especially in the beginning stages. If you're trying to even just get like a quote, if you're trying to get a contract signed, you want to make sure that you're working with somebody that has a prompt response. Next is an unprofessional portfolio. So this obviously goes for any images. This will vary depending on what this vendor is for and what their portfolio might look for. But if it's somebody that is on the creative side where you want to be able to see images of their work, whether that is a photographer, videographer, maybe it's a wedding coordinator or a planner, you want to make sure that you're seeing obviously good images and images of work that you like and things that speak to you and what your own personal style is and what you hope to emulate at your wedding. But also you want to make sure that you are seeing consistency across this vendor's work as well. If there's a lot of inconsistency, if there's a variation in the overall style, that's not necessarily a very good sign, because then it's inconsistent with what they might produce you. You don't quite know exactly the result that you're going to get if there's a lot of inconsistency across their portfolio. Also, reviews. You want to make sure that there's a decent amount of reviews and that there's some recent reviews. Make sure that you're not looking into a vendor that doesn't have any recent reviews within the last 3 years. That's probably not a good indicator that they are providing quality work recently. Next is budget pricing discrepancies. So if you're seeing something online or on their website and they're quoting you something completely different, that's also not a good sign. That could indicate future discrepancies during the planning process. You want to make sure that you know upfront what you're going to get financially and budget-wise. Additionally, if their prices are way lower than the average, while that might sound great for your budget, depending on what this vendor is for, you typically get what you pay for. So just keep that in mind as you're booking vendors. Additionally, if a vendor that you're communicating with says that you are booked for your wedding day and does not offer a contract, does not send over any sort of contract or any written agreement between them and yourselves, huge red flag. Do not book a single wedding vendor. I don't care what category this is from. Don't book any wedding vendors without a professional, detailed contract. That way, if something were to go awry during the planning process, you have this contract to fall back on and you know you're not going to be left high and dry without them performing what they promised to do. Also, make sure that you are thoroughly reading all of these contracts before signing them. And finally, follow your gut. You obviously want to enjoy the work that these wedding vendors produce, but you also want to vibe with them on a personal level, as your wedding day is a very personal event, right? So you want to make sure that you not only like the work that they produce, that you trust the work that they produce, but you also feel like you have a good connection with them on a personal level. If you get a weird feeling while communicating with them, don't ignore it. This is especially important when you are looking for a wedding planner, a photographer, or a DJ. Your planner is going to be with you every step of the way, so you obviously want to make sure that you vibe with them pretty well. You're going to have a lot of communication over the course of probably a year, and then obviously on your wedding day as well. You want someone that's going to make you feel good, make you feel calm, or hyped up, or whatever it is that you need on your wedding day, that you will get that from your planner, and they're not going to make you feel more stressed out or more uncomfortable. Same goes for your photographer. They're going to be essentially following you around all day. They're going to want you to make sure that you're feeling comfortable, that you're getting good quality photos. Is going to have a lot to do with how you feel in their presence. And finally, with your DJ, they set the tone for kind of the entire feel and atmosphere and environment of your wedding day. So you want to make sure that you also vibe with them on a personal level and that they're somebody that you can see meshing with your group and creating a good atmosphere and experience for your guests as well as yourselves. Booking all your wedding vendors is a very exciting process in the wedding planning journey, but you want to make sure that you're not just booking the first ones that you see or that you hear about, and make sure that you're properly vetting them so that they are the right vendors for you. Make sure you look out for these red flags to hopefully eliminate any crazy mishaps that could happen on your wedding planning. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe to get weekly videos on wedding planning tips and advice, and we'll see you next week.